Welcome to Biafra National Television and Radio, Bntvr, Voice of the Rising Sun, official broadcast station of the state of Biafra. This is Brief, built on truth, courage, and discipline. This broadcast will continue with the analysis, that is the part 3 of the analysis of the series, The Address of His Excellency General Innocent N. ORJI, GCSB, Head of State and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the State of Biafra, on the 50th commemoration of the Biafran Armed Forces Remembrance Day 2026, held on Ụbọchị Ahịa Afọ, Saturday, 30th May 2026. The address continued that General YAKUBU GOWON should apologize to the memory of late Dean CHUKWUEMEKA ODUMEGWU OJUKWU. Why should GOWON apologize? Because late Dean CHUKWUEMEKA ODUMEGWU OJUKWU saw the future of the fragile unity in Nigeria. Look at what is happening in the British creation named Nigeria. Everywhere there is crisis, banditry, terrorism. The unity that he has preached about since 1970, after the declaration of no victor, no vanquish, he is still praying for unity. When you pray for unity for over 50 years and the unity is not forthcoming, is it not better to pray for another solution? So therefore, GOWON should apologize to the memory of late Dean CHUKWUEMEKA ODUMEGWU OJUKWU for seeing the future of the fragile unity in Nigeria. And hopefully, the money donated by Lieutenant General T.Y. Danjuma during the ceremony of the launch of his book will serve a better purpose in defending his homeland in Plateau State. How many times can GOWON state that he has comfortably sat in his hometown? He's not from London to Abuja. Can GOWON be able to visit his hometown and stay for 1 month without any form of terrorism and banditry happening in his hometown? I think I would suggest to, or our opinion to GOWON, to General GOWON, to pray for the end to terrorism and banditry in his hometown and stop bothering himself about praying for unity in Nigeria. Moreover, indigenous Biafrans are being blackmailed and charged with terrorism offenses, while terrorists in northern Nigeria are rehabilitated and repented into the society. Recently, the occupying Nigerian Senate are urging the federal government, which is the executive arm, to stop rehabilitating and repenting the terrorists and banditry into the society, because the Biafran provincial government has been shouting and hampering over this same situation. And the Senate, the Nigerians, occupying Nigerian Senate, suddenly woke up from their slumber. And they shouldn't be begging, they should be directing, they should be ordering, because it's another arm of government of their occupying Federal Republic of Nigeria. If it's not a propaganda or a format to exonerate themselves, because whatever they are doing is against their Nigerian constitution, which that Senate is supposed to uphold. The Biafran provincial government have always stood on the ground that terrorists in Nigeria shouldn't be rehabilitated. Why you come into the state of Biafra and begin to blackmail, shoot, and also charge indigenous Biafrans with terrorism offenses? The address by His Excellency General Innocent N. ORJI, GCSB, also continued that it is suspicious that the so-called political representative in the territories of the state of Nigeria should be participating in terrorism. Before then, he spoke about it. Occupying Nigerian Senate President Godswill Akpabio stated that insecurity will end in 2 weeks after election. This is a case study that he is aware of what is happening. If recently they have come to say don't repent them, if he's sure that insecurity will end in 2 weeks, why don't they end it right now? You can find that news in the PM News 14 April 2026. Even former Abia State Governor and Senator representing the defunct Abia State, the defunct Abia North, ORJI, which they know as OJUKWU, has confirmed that the Nigerian volatile tactics of political killings. In a televised address, he stated, I quote, "In PDP, we used to kill people when they are doing this thing. People used to die during party congress. During his party congress, that was on 1st June 2018, to let you know that the political class are killers. The political class in Nigeria are killers. They always end up everything they do by killing people. Killing is their way of squashing whatever disagreement instead of dialogue. So indigenous Biafrans should be very careful while dealing with these occupying Nigerian elites from this side of the world. That is the former defunct Eastern region. Also, the address continues that the occupying Nigerian state president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, aka Jagaban, he openly confessed that his administration is a continuity of President Muhammad Buhari, which is the late president, the previous president, which handed over to him. Buhari's government is the manifestation of poverty, tribalism, religious bigotry, unemployment, terrorism, banditry, nepotism, disobedience to court ruling, abuse of human rights and fundamental freedom, poor infrastructure, low quality education, high cost of living and other vices, which means all these vices were handed over to Tinubu and it has continued. Tinubu said that the truth is I took over, I quote, "The truth is I took over from myself. The late Buhari is me, he was a partner. If I took over from him, is that not from myself?" That from the Daily Post, April 16, 2026, you can check it out. Therefore, the address continues. The Biafran provincial government, BPG, government of the state of Biafra, decided there shall be no presidential election in the occupied territories of the state of Biafra. I repeat, the Biafran provincial government has decided that there shall be no presidential elections in the occupied territories of the state of Biafra, because that state of Biafra you hear about has been redeclared, it has been reestablished. If you want the continuity of the vices, tribalism, poverty, unemployment, then you shall come for election. But as long as you want the state of Biafra to continue to propagate, to progress, to continue, your right to self-determination, you shall stand on no presidential election. And also, any form of loan collected by the Nigerian government is not in any way a concern of indigenous Biafrans. And we shall not bear any future consequences of such borrowing on our people's land, territories, and resources for livelihood. So, therefore, what we are saying is participation in campaigning or voting in the Nigerian presidential election is abolished henceforth. I repeat, presidential election. Therefore, Nigerian State Deputy Speaker, that is the occupying Nigerian State Deputy, Benjamin Kalu, is advised, because I think this so-called renewed hope and hopelessness is what is carrying to campaigning everywhere in the defunct Abia State. So he should find other territories to do that campaign or risk the consequences of disobedience to this directive. Also, former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi has continued to review his desperation for presidential power and his cowardice for ignoring the plea of the Igbo people for the release of IPOB leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which he hurriedly, in order to show face, went to speak about it recently. After this address, anyway, he shouldn't forget his murderous act. That is, Peter Obi should not forget his murderous acts in 2008 against defenseless indigenous Biafrans. He ordered their extrajudicial killing and their dead bodies dumped into Ezu River. He is a confirmed murderer of his own people. He should explain Ezu River before he thinks of urging the people to vote for him for president, even as declared no presidential election in occupied territories of the state of Biafra. The Nnewi-born Lagos-based businessman and politician Joe Igboekwe, in his show of laws, has continued to castigate and wrongly accuse IPOB of terrorism acts while being silent on the kidnappings and terrorists. What is he saying about those in Oyo and Kwara State? After this address, he was actually confirmed with a national honor by Tinubu, which is the same issue that was spoken about in the address. He just wants to get something from the federal government of Nigeria, which he has gotten. through the conferment of national honor. And maybe now he can shut himself up and begin to speak the truth about terrorism as he has experienced. His condemnation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is playing to the gallery to gather empathy for political appointments or honor which he has gotten. He should be interested in talking about or seeking compensation for his demolition, for the demolition of his investment. We are aware that he and most of the politicians like Peter Obi, they have investment in trade fair Alaba. I'm not against anybody having investment, but if your investment is the reason why you want to remain in the fragile unity called Nigeria, it is baseless and useless. You should be more interested in seeking why demolition is happening in trade fair in other parts of the market in Lagos State, and stop instigating whatever terrorism charge against IPOB ESN members. This brings to the end the part 3 of the series, the address of His Excellency General Innocent N. ORJI GCSB, Head of State, BPG, that is the Biafran Provincial Government, and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the State of Biafra, on the 5th year commemoration of the Biafran Armed Forces Remembrance Day 2026, held on Bochahia for Saturday, 30th May 2026. Watch out for the part 4 on the series on Biafran National Television and Radio, Bntvr, Voice of the Rising Sun, official broadcast station of the State of Biafra, on Brief, built on truth, courage, and discipline. Always remember to follow and share our programs on all social media platforms. I'm your host, Pointer. Take care.
All hail Biafra.